Good afternoon, Sukesh. How are you?
Yes. Fine, sir. You, sir? What about you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So can you tell
Yes,
me
sir.
something about yourself?
Yes, sir. Of course. Sir, my name is Sukesh T. I am from Chitradurga. I have completed my BE Mechanical in 2018 from BGS Institute of Technology. I have 2 years of experience in non-IT field. Presently, I am pursuing training in software testing in Global Quest Technology, Bangalore, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So you have 3 to 4 years of experience in testing.
No, sir. 2 years in non-technical, non-IT
No.
background.
And how many years of experience you have with respect to testing or IT background?
Sir, only 2 years of experience in non-IT, sir.
Non-IT. Okay. So you are going to switch your career from non-IT to IT
Yes, sir. Testing.
testing. Okay, fine. So how have you, what is the preparation that you are doing? How are you going to?
Sir,
Yeah.
from last 1.5 to 2 months, I'm undergoing training manual testing, sir.
Hmm.
From last week, I am undergoing regarding Selenium, sir. Selenium automation, Selenium web driver.
Okay, great. That's good. Okay, fine. So let's say I'll give you a few of the test scenarios. Let me share my screen. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Just below. Okay. So now, let's say you have got one project for testing, and in that you
Yes.
have to test one grading system, right? In this grading system, you will have, this kind of percentage calculation. If it is 0 to 40%, the student should get B grade. If it is 41% to 60%, the student should get C grade. If it is 61 to 80, B grade, 81 to 100 would be A grade. Okay. So this is how the
Yes.
grading calculation they are doing. Okay. Now you have to generate the test data for this function. Okay. For this function grade. So how will you, or what would be your test data to test this?
Sir, I will go with equivalence class partition testing, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Test design technique.
Okay.
From 0 to 40, from
Mm,
41 to 60,
mm,
61 to 80,
mm.
81 to 100. Then I will go with negative testing also, sir, from 100 to 110 or 120. Then minus 50 to 0.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else?
Then that's it.
Okay. So whatever test cases that you have told, those are based on the positive testing. You can also
Yes,
consider few of the negative test cases, right? Now consider,
yes, sir, from 100 to 110 or 120.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
fine. Yeah, those also you can consider. Okay.
yeah.
So now let's say if this question you get in a real-time interview. Okay.
Yes,
So you have to, the test data plays a very vital role in testing, right? In the test cases, there are certain fields in, actual result is there, expected result is there, prerequisite, but test data plays a very vital role. Now over here, what all things you can consider? See, first of all, you will have to make sure that what type of values can be passed to the grade function. Okay. Let's say if someone is giving in them in a string format, then we need to pass the values to integer, right?
and yes,
So the boundary conditions that boundary value analysis, also the testing technique that you can use, but you mentioned about equivalence class partitioning, that is also fine. That also you can use. Okay. If total
yes,
marks, yeah. So over here, we will be testing each and every individual grades for their boundary conditions, right? Like 0, 40, 41, 60, 61, 80, 81 is there, then 100 is there. Okay. So we are making one assumption in this requirement as total marks is equal to 100. Okay. This has
100.
not been kept over here. This was not a part of question. So you could have asked that what is the total number of marks? Okay. Then if total marks is not equal to 100, then we will be changing the values to test those percentages. Okay. Then negative conditions you mentioned more than 100. 110. Okay, so similarly we can mention -10, 0 as well. So we just want to know whether zero exception or these kind of scenarios are being handled in the code or not. Okay, then these are invalid conditions. This was a perfect answer that was given by you. You can also pass some of the alphanumeric or special characters in that grading system function just to make sure that what is the output that you are getting from that function.
Yes.
So all possible combination of numbers of a number scale, negative values, positive values for both the parameters, marks obtained, total marks. So these all things you will be testing. Okay. Now consider this is the okay. Now moving to next question. Okay. Now you have to perform testing on one of the search feature in a smartphone application. Okay. So you have been given a mobile phone. Okay. It's an Android based phone and you have to test the search feature. Okay. In that particular mobile phone, one application is there and you have to perform testing on that search functionality or search feature, right? So what all things they can search is what they can perform search on the email based things. Web content is there, right? What is the memory in the internal memory or SD card? Okay, so can you tell me the high level test scenarios? What all things you will be testing while doing testing of the search feature or functionality?
Related to email, sir.
I mean, see, this particularly there is a search box that you have to perform testing on, and these are the various things on which the search could be performed in that particular application in the mobile, right? So you have to basically tell the scenarios for search feature.
Yes.
With respect to mobile.
Yes, sir. Sir, first I will search with email Gmail regarding Google Gmail, sir. Then web. Sorry, sir, I cannot.
Okay, no issues. See, in a real-time interview, even if you don't know the answer of the question, just tell that I'm not aware about this answer, in a 100% manner, but I would like to give a try. Sometimes, in an interviews, there are times when we don't, we are not able to recall or we are not able to get the answer of any question, right? So you can try, at least you can put a partial try, and who knows, maybe that can turn out to be a near closer to the correct answer, right? So over here, what all features that you could have tested is, see, yeah, okay. So search box is there. So see, other things that I wrote over here: email application, web content, SD card, internal memory, right? Which search word, letter, and display result, right? So these things are the extra things that I made it a part of the requirement, right? But basically you have to perform the testing on the search feature only, right? So over here, this question was kind of confusing that you got, that this email has to be tested or web content is there. But generally in a generic manner, you have to test search feature only or functionality. Okay. So what all things we will do is, we will check whether focus is there on search box or not, right? In a mobile application, when you click on that search functionality or feature, search bar, so whether focus is coming there or not, whether you are able to enter characters, numbers, special characters, alphanumeric characters on the alphabets, right? Now let's say the moment you enter any character, then that particular search button in that search box should get enabled, right? Then after clicking on search, the search result should get displayed, right? Then checking the dynamic search works, then reset or erase work. Let's say if I reset the search, so all the search the search results should go away, right? Okay. Now we can also check the order in which the results are written. Okay. What is the order? Then most relevant, most recent. Let's say in Google, if you search about, for example, IPL match. So first of all, they will show you the last day's IPL match results. Then they will slowly and gradually show you the results of the matches that were played 1 day prior or 2 days prior to that, right? So what is the order of the search? Most recent is coming up. or mostly used, or let's say you have some of the items that you have already searched before and you have used based on your search. So those preferences would be given to those items, right?
Yes.
Then number of results per page, pagination is there or not, multiple language support is there or not, right? Then click links work. So let's say if some search is coming and then you click on that particular link, so is it taking you to that particular page properly or not? Those links are working or not? Keywords are getting highlighted or not? Let's say if you did a search on let's say orange color shirt or t-shirts, so if in the search items those kind of keywords should be getting highlighted, right? Then checking auto completion and suggestions, then right, time taken, performance testing, right? Even if internet is not available or mobile is in flight mode, local search should still work for local information and locally saved. Let's say if emails are there, so emails should come up. Okay, so let's say if you are performing search of a mail in a Gmail inbox, so whichever emails that are there, at least those should get searched, which do not need internet, because right,
Yes.
so locally saved data should at least appear, right? Now over here we had a this thing performance, right? So which are the types of performance testing?
Sir, load testing,
Hmm.
stress testing,
Hmm.
volume testing,
Okay.
3 types.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between load testing and stress testing?
So load testing means testing the stability and response time of an application by applying the load, which is equal to the design number of test case, design number of users.
Mhm.
When it comes to stress testing means uh, testing the stability and response time of an application by applying the load, which is more than the design number of users. Example, when it's come to login page, if we enter user credential, take a response time, related to response time traveling from login page to home page, how much time is taking.
Okay. Okay. Now consider a situation or a scenario where you are supposed to test a particular feature where it should, and in the BRD or FRD, it has been mentioned that this particular feature should work with 200 users. So what would be
Yes.
the test data in case of load testing? What would be the test data in case of stress testing?
Sir, in load testing, I will test only up to 200 users only, sir. 200
Mhm.
and below 200. When it comes to stress testing, I will test beyond 200, above 200 users, sir. 201, 202. How response is happening when 200, above 200 by doing stress testing, sir.
Mhm. Mhm. Correct, correct.
By perform.
Okay. Now let's say the time taken for this particular search, let's say on Monday when you perform the testing, it was taking 5 seconds to
Yes.
load. Let me write it over here. Right, so this was one of the test scenario you tested on Monday.
Yes.
And it took for you 5 seconds for example, let's say for listing 500 records. Okay. This was the result, test result of Monday. Now, when you come for testing on Tuesday, on that day, you find that it takes almost 10 seconds for loading the 500 records on Tuesday. So how will you find the root cause? I mean, how will you do root cause analysis over here? What all things what all things you think would have happened wrong over here? Or what all things are coming to your mind which has made an impact on this query, on this time taken of this query, of the performance,
Sir,
right?
maybe I would have tested that in Chrome browser on Monday. It
Hmm.
has taken up to 5 seconds. When it comes to when it comes to Tuesday, I have been tested maybe in other browsers like Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer. In that, it may take 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It is taking 10
Okay.
seconds.
Okay. So browser based, you are.
Both browser based.
Mhm. Okay. What else?
Then maybe in my system it is taking 5 seconds or
Hmm.
10 seconds. In my friends or in my teammate, it is taking 10 seconds due to his system problem or due to.
Okay. System and CPU utilization kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Memory utilization rate.
Okay. What else?
Then that's it.
Okay. Now consider on Monday you tested in Google Chrome browser. On Tuesday also you tested in the same browser. Consider there you have tested in one of the virtual machine, right? And in this also scenario you have tested on one of the same virtual machine, right? The machine, the browsers are same. Now what do you think?
Maybe internet issue due to internet issue.
No, internet won't come into the picture actually. See, and I'll tell you what could happen over here, right? So see, I asked you the question. Now in between Monday to Tuesday, between your testing, new deployment could have been done or new release or some check-in would have been made by the dev team, developers, right? In which they would have introduced some API or some changes in the build or in the code due to which it
New
is
feature.
affecting the performance. Yes. So this is very important, right? Because it might happen that you might get some changes when you start your work on Tuesday, right? So this is one of the scenario. This can be one of the scenario. Okay. Now let's say this thing is there. Another reason over here can be, let's say they have introduced some feature, okay, with multiple images. Images means those are, heavy images like PNG that they have used, which are taking time or which are putting time on that server to load the results. And that's why the time taken for retrieving the records for the query over here after performing search, that is taking more time. Instead of 5 seconds, now it is taking 10 seconds. Right? So this also can be one of the reasons. So over here again, see the browser, the machine, the internet remains same, right? But these are the things that are playing a vital role over here. So these are the things that are actually a culprit over here. Okay. Now consider a situation where, okay, now this is fine. Okay. Now when you had tested, now this is altogether a different question. Okay. Now when you had performed testing on this feature, okay, on Monday, you released it telling that it is displaying 500 records to us in 5 seconds. Okay. Now client also does the same thing. What does client do? Client or customer? They will perform the same search for 500 records, but for them it is taking 15 seconds. Right? So they will come and they will ask your testing team or the managers, like, what is the issue over here, right? So in production, it is taking 15 seconds to display 500 records. In your testing environment, it is taking 5 seconds to display 500 records. Okay. So what can be the reason over here? Now this time the deployment, the code remains same, right? The code, the new release is not done. The release or the code is same on which you had performed testing.
So regarding browser.
Sorry, browser. Yeah.
Browser related issue.
Yeah. Now over here the browser can make a impact.
Internet connection. He is working in different environment. We are tested in different environment.
Correct.
Maybe that's the issue.
So now environment can be can play a can play a role over here, right? Earlier also,
Yes.
earlier also the environment could have played a role. There could have been one scenario where on Monday, okay, so we concluded that Monday and Tuesday same browser versions were there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, so environment issues can be there due to which
Yes, sir.
this kind of performance is getting impacted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's say you have to perform testing on Angry Birds game. Okay, and you have to give the maximum, you have to cover maximum areas for testing. Almost 80% of coverage you have to show. So which areas you will concentrate on, and what would be the high level test scenarios?
Sir, I don't know about this game, sir. Angry Birds game.
Angry Birds game. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, consider a situation, it's a kind of a game. Okay, do you play cricket?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You play cricket in a mobile app?
Yes.
Right? Okay, now let's consider this question to be, you have to create a test plan for a cricket game with 80% coverage. So what all areas you will concentrate on? What would be the high level test scenarios?
Sorry, as a user should be visible clearly picture, sir. Who is opponent, wicket, afterwards umpire, then what are all the in scope and out scope related? What are all the features need to be tested, not to be tested? The main objective will be playing cricket only, sir. Opponent, then
what else?
Then regarding scoreboard, sir, in the scoreboard, user should be able to see visible the scoreboard. Then
yeah. What else you can get?
yeah.
Okay, fine. So let us see the scenarios. So this is the generalized testing. Okay. So first of all, you will consider, let me put first over here. Okay. So which are the different types of testing that also you will cover in the test plan? So these all testing you will do. Smoke testing as a minimal acceptance testing, right? So you can cover different platforms, different hardware specifications. Let's say platform was Android, iOS over here, right? Objective of smoke and acceptance criteria. Let's say if at least, if it is with respect to cricket game, so after deployment you will test for 1 or 2 overs, bowling, batting, fielding, all things, all functionality are working fine or not, right? Then let's say if earlier versions any features were released, so those things should not get broken, no regression issue should be there, right? Backup, restore, and upgrade testing. Okay, so we have to make sure that it allows the user to take backup and restore from it, right? So let's say if someone is coming from previous version to new version, in the previous version he was holding a rank of almost 1100 out of all the people who are playing on that game across the India. So he was holding a rank of 1100, and now he's upgrading to the latest version of that game. So that particular data should be there, how many centuries he has scored or how many wickets he has taken, kind of. Then continuous testing for hours. Okay, so you will be testing the same game up to 1 day, 2 day, up to 7 days in a week, and plot the result on behavior from it, right? Like how much time is it taking? Is it getting slow after 3 days, right? So kind of
endurance testing.
Yeah, sorry.
Endurance testing. Sir.
Correct. Endurance testing. Then longevity testing. So it generally runs for weeks, months. So again, this is also a part of that only. Performance testing we all discussed about, you know, you will be testing the RAM usage, the CPU usage when a user plays the game for several hours continuously, right? Usability testing, you took, that the very first case you covered where the emphasis would be given on the UI UX of the game, right? Then comparison testing, you will be comparing that particular game with many other games that are existing in the market of cricket, and you will be doing a comparison based testing. Okay, right. So this was. Now, next question is, there is a registration form that you have to perform testing, right? And
Yes.
and to get, and there is a phone number field as well over there. Okay. Now this particular phone number field is a JavaScript thing, and it is performing validation so as to you have to enter only numbers as an input in the phone number field, right? But internally in that, now let's say you entered number, okay, as for example you mentioned your 10-digit phone number in that particular field, but internally in the database they are stored as text. Do you think this is an issue? If yes, then what is the severity? What is the priority of this issue? Okay, so two questions are there. First, whether this is an issue or not, this scenario. Is this scenario clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first question is if this is a bug or not a bug. Second question is, if this is a bug, what is the severity and priority for it? Or if this is not a bug, then you have to justify your answer.
Sir, it is in low severity with high priority, sir.
Low severity, high priority.
High priorities.
Okay, can you justify your answer?
Sir, as a user, it is not affecting. He can enter the number. It is feeding in the backend as a text, sir. In the front end, it is not affecting anything, sir. But in the backend, according to in the backend, issue is occurring, sir. It is converted into character or a text. That's why low severity with high priorities.
Okay, severity will be low, priority will be high. Okay, fine. So let this be an open question for the viewers who are watching this video, right? What would be the severity and priority of this defect? And you agree that this is a defect, right?
Yes, sir. It is a defect, sir, but it is not affecting as a user, sir. But it is affecting in the backend, and it's storing in the database. It is affecting, sir.
Okay, fine. So this was there. Okay. Now, can you tell me the high-level test scenarios for a watch?
Test scenarios about watch, sir. Sir, it is yes, sir. As a user, I will test the user. As a user, it is visible. It is usable. The digital number is visible or not. Regarding battery, and I will test regarding sticks, small minutes indication and hour indication. Second indication, then numbering from 1 to 12, number indication. It is visible or not clearly for the user. Then I will test continuous testing. I will do. It is running for continuously for 2 days, 3 days. It is capable to run or not. Then I will do. Yes, sir, that's it.
Okay. Why do we write test cases?
So to cover all the requirements, customer requirements, by using requirement traceability matrix, RTM.
But we write test cases to cover RTM?
No, sir. To cover 100% requirements. customer requirements.
Correct. To cover 100% of requirements. What else?
But then
don't you think it, we should write test cases as it will simplify the tester's work, how many test
yes,
scenarios or how many test cases they have
yes,
covered,
are there.
right? It will
Yes,
help the tester to get organized in a better manner. You can tell also,
yes.
yeah, you
We
can.
can cover both negative and positive testing of test cases, both.
Correct. What else?
First of all, it will then that's it.
Okay, fine. So apart from this, test cases are basically, a part of process, right? So as per standards, as per the guidelines, as per the best practices, in order to make sure that we are doing testing in a proper or right direction. So test cases are very important. Otherwise, what would happen every day? We will test something, and at the during the release time, we might face, okay, no, this scenario has been left up or this scenario has not been tested, right? So it will help you to validate the expectations and meet the customer requirements as well. Correct. So that also
Yes.
you can. Okay, Sukesh, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Feedbacks. Any feedback?
Yeah, I think your feedback, from the feedback perspective, we took the interview on manual testing only. You need to explore more. You need to, improve your analytical skills so you are able to think what all things can be taken into the consideration from the testing perspective, right? Otherwise, your knowledge is good, right? Now is the time when you have to convert your theoretical knowledge to the practical side, right? Because when you will be getting a job for a software testing role in any of the organization, any of the company, they will ask you to test certain feature or functionality. So what all scenarios you can think of testing it or of breaking it, right? Just not thinking for breaking it, but also whether it is working as per the customer expectations or not. So those things you have to take care, right? But slowly and gradually you will be, I'm very sure that you will pick up the speed and you will understand these concepts from the practical perspective,
Yes.
right? So thank you so much, Sukesh, and
Thank you.
yeah, and all the best for your career.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.